Newcastle responds to Alexander Isak training ground goodbye before Liverpool transfer. Alexander Isak was reportedly given a farewell event at Newcastle United's training ground, but manager Eddie Howe has addressed the claims and has no knowledge. About them, Eddie Howe has addressed rumors that Newcastle United's forward Alexander Isak has bid his teammates at the club's Benton base a tearful goodbye. Swedish TV sparked the speculation, alleging that Isak lingered to emotionally part ways with his colleagues amid talks of a switch to Liverpool. However, Howe stated he had no knowledge of such an event and assured that he would know if it had transpired. During a charged PPS conference, Howe also mentioned he was still engaged in the transfer market and conveyed to Chronicle Live. On Alex's situation, I have no communication and no update. We are still actively looking to recruit, but I don't know if that has any relation to Alex's situation. When probed about receiving a farewell from Isak, Howe responded, "No, I have had no communication." Howe was further questioned about the alleged meeting and reiterated, "I have no knowledge of that. I can't tell you it didn't happen, but I certainly can't tell you it did. That is the first I have heard of it. I am pretty sure I would have known." Sky Sports also queried Howe on the matter, to which he replied, "I'm not party to any talks going on. I have been preparing for this game, which is demanding enough. I will find out like everyone else. We can't wait for the finish line because we need clarity to move forward." Newcastle is reportedly still in discussions for Jørgen Strand Larsen, and when quizzed about further transfers, Howe remarked, "Being the manager, you are always hopeful that you can maybe add one more that can make a difference, but I am really happy with the work we have done so far, and I think we are a lot stronger than last season. Fingers crossed we might be able to do some more." In positive news for Newcastle, Nick Woltemade is set to join the squad after the international break. Howe is eagerly anticipating the chance to utilize the 69-meter star, stating, "He is a really good technician. His size will be a talking point, because he is a big presence, but he is not a target man, although he can head the ball. He has real creativity around the box. He can find space around the box, and he can find passes that not many other players can see. So I think he can add a dimension we currently don't have, and when you have goal scorers in your team, the general level goes up. We are always looking to add multi-talented players. You don't want to be one-dimensional. You have to have many strings to your bow to be successful in England. I think he has them, and I am looking forward to seeing him play in our team. Any team in the Premier League would miss their center forward, so I think we're in that bracket. But we're also missing Anthony Gordon and Joe Linton too. Liverpool announced Cody Gakpo contract extension as long-term commitment made. Liverpool news as Cody Gakpo becomes the latest Reds players to commit his future to the club. Cody Gakpo has signed a new long-term contract at Liverpool in a deal. The club have announced the 26-year-old has committed his future at the club following a successful 2.5-year spell at Anfield. Gakpo has played 131 times for the Reds, scoring 42 times and assisting 16. Since moving from PSV Eindhoven, the Netherlands international has won the Premier League and Carabao Cup. "I feel at home, my family feels at home, and that's also a big decision always," Gakpo said following the announcement of his new deal. "They feel good. I'm very happy at the club, a good group, good teammates, so the life around the football itself is very good, and I enjoy every moment of it. I'm very grateful that I can extend. Obviously, trying to win more things with the club is my aim, with the team. I think we have a very good squad at the moment, and we're trying to build on something special again. Obviously, last season we won the league, so we have to defend it with the best of our capabilities. We want to also win the Champions League and the other cups. So that's what we are going for. For me personally, I think I'd like to keep on developing, so every year has to be a better year than the year before. That's what we're aiming for." Gakpo has started the 2025-26 season in fine form, with a goal and 2 assists across the first 2 games of the season. Luis Diaz's exit to Bayern Munich and Diogo Jota's tragic death have meant the 26-year-old is Arne Slot's first-choice left winger. Liverpool makes $47 Mark Guéhi approach as Reds close in on summer signing. The Reds have pursued the Crystal Palace captain all summer, but have not formalized that interest prior to the final weekend of the summer window. Liverpool has reportedly made an official proposal to sign Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace. The defender has been a target for the Reds all summer, but prior to this weekend, Liverpool has not firmed up that interest with a formal offer. The Athletic claims that has now changed, with the Premier League champions submitting a flat bid of $35 million 47 million for the England international. That would mean no add-ons, as was the case with the arrival of Milos Kerkez earlier this window. The report adds that Guéhi is open to moving if the clubs reach an agreement, although Palace is yet to respond to Liverpool's offer at this stage. Liverpool.com reported earlier this week that Liverpool retained interest in the Palace captain, with an approach expected before the window shuts. Meanwhile, the Eagles have been on the lookout for new additions in the market and made contact with Manchester City this week regarding a possible move for Manuel Akanji. Palace has also been linked with a move for Toulouse's J.D. Canvo and the Roma defender Evan Ndicka. Joe Gomez has even been mooted as a possible makeweight in a potential Guehi deal. However, sources have indicated a loan move is not possible. At this stage of the window, while it would take an incredible offer to tempt the Reds to sell, he is one of 4 center-backs currently on Liverpool's books, along with Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and Giovanni Leone. Given the latter is inexperienced at Premier League level, Gomez has struggled with injuries, and Konate's form has been a concern in the early weeks of the season. Interest in Guéhi has remained into the final days of the summer window. He has been a target throughout the summer, with reports claiming any transfer has been held up due to Liverpool's reluctance to match Palace's valuation. With just 2 days remaining in the market, a compromise will need to be found by one or both parties. Guéhi has played the full 90 minutes in all 5 of Palace's games this season, but his participation in Sunday's trip to Aston Villa is clearly now in doubt. Typically, he does match the age profile Liverpool tends to look for in a centre-back, but he is seen as a unique market opportunity, with the Reds able to land an England international for a relatively cut-down fee. Guéhi has a year left on his current contract at Selhurst Park, and it's believed he has no plans to sign a new deal. Chairman Steve Parish said earlier this month that Palace would not be in a position to lose the player for free next summer. Alan Shearer names missing Liverpool transfer that could seal Premier League title. Alan Shearer fears it will be over for Liverpool's Premier League title rivals if they land 2 players before Monday's transfer deadline, with one of those, a position he believes Arne Slot simply must add to Alan Shearer, has lauded Hugo Ekitike's blistering start to life at Liverpool, but he feels the Reds still need a centre-back to maximize their chances of retaining the title. The Frenchman, who has struck 3 times in as many matches since joining Arne Slot's champions for an initial $69 million, is bidding to upstage Victor Gyökeres against Arsenal today in the battle of newly signed strikers. Betfair ambassador Shearer said, "Ekitike has made a wonderful start, certainly better than even he would have imagined. He's got 3 in 3. I've been really impressed with him, but it remains to be seen how regular he will play if they get the player they want in Alexander Isak. They might shift him to another position, but you can't argue with his record to date. Liverpool need another center-half, Mark Guéhi springs to mind, but because of departures and also tragic circumstances, they need another forward as well. From a selfish point of view, that wouldn't be Isak, but I understand why they're looking at him because he's bloody good. If they land Guéhi and Isak, I guess it might be over for everyone." Shearer was also full of praise for Arsenal's new marquee centre-forward Gyökeres, following his 2-goal haul in the 5-0 demolition of Leeds, even if he faces a different test at Anfield up against Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. The Premier, League's all-time record goal scorer, is adamant the Gunners must play to the bullish Swede's strengths to get the best from him, particularly without the injured Bukayo Saka. Shearer continued, Gyökeres will have found it frustrating in the first match against Manchester United. He will have felt a hell of a lot better after scoring 2 against Leeds. There's still work to do in terms of getting him used to Arsenal's system and what he wants and needs. If you're going to pay that amount of money for a striker, you're going to have to play to his strengths. Sometimes pass won't benefit him, but you can't take away what Saka is good at or Eberechi Eze, so you need to find the balance. Crystal Palace reject 35 million Liverpool bid for England defender Mark Guéhi. Liverpool's offer, immediately turned down by Crystal Palace, are demanding that Liverpool increase their offer of 35 million for Mark Guéhi to match their valuation of 40 million for the England defender before sanctioning his departure. Liverpool are understood to have submitted an official bid for Guéhi on Saturday that was immediately countered by Palace. They want an initial 35 million plus another 5 million in bonuses and a 10% sell-on clause to be included in the deal, with talks continuing. Guéhi has less than 12 months remaining on his contract and has refused to sign an extension, with the Palace chair, Steve Parish, admitting after their victory over Arne Slot's side in the Community Shield that he may have to be sold this month to avoid losing the 25-year-old for free next summer. Liverpool are understood to be Guéhi's preferred destination, but the Premier League champions had yet to formalize their approach until Saturday afternoon. Palace are believed to be ready to allow him to depart if their valuation is met. Despite Oliver Glasner saying on Friday that it was too late to sign a replacement, given the transfer window closes on Monday. Palace, who rejected a bid worth up to 70 million for Guéhi from Tottenham in January, have been desperate to add defensive reinforcements amid uncertainty over his future and agreed a deal worth up to 27 million, 23.4 million, with Toulouse for J.D. Canvo, with the France U20's defender expected to sign a 5-year contract at Selhurst. Park Canvat is seen as a player with huge potential, having made his breakthrough in Ligue 1 last season. But the FA Cup winners have been frustrated so far in their efforts to find a more experienced replacement, and Liverpool are believed to have rejected an approach to sign Joe Gomez on loan as part of the Guéhi deal. The England defender could still be available on a permanent deal, while Palace have been in talks with Manchester City over a move for Manuel Akanji, but the Switzerland defender has interest from Milan, so will likely move elsewhere. They have also made inquiries about taking former Southampton defender Mohamed Salisu on loan from Monaco. Glasner made it clear on Friday that he wants Guéhi to stay. From my side, he has to still be a Crystal Palace player because it's not possible at the moment to find a Mark Guéhi replacement who can play straight in the Premier League, being a starter, being consistent, said the Palace manager. When we see our foundation of success in the last few months, it's our defense. Mark is a crucial part. Getting the right replacement in now is almost impossible. Liverpool has clear stance on Joe Gomez's role in Mark Guéhi transfer. The defender has been linked with a Liverpool exit before the window shuts, but looks incredibly unlikely at this late stage of the summer. Liverpool will block any attempts to sign Joe Gomez in the final days of the transfer window, despite interest in the player. Reports have claimed the defender is a target for Crystal Palace and AC Milan before the window shuts on the Monday, with the latter using Gomez as a makeweight in any potential deal for Mark Guéhi. However, Liverpool.com understands that will not be the case, with the Reds standing firm on Gomez given the lack of options at center-back. He is one of 4 recognized players in that role, along with Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate, and Giovanni Leone. That was not necessarily the case at the start of the window, when sources close to the player privately indicated Gomez's decade-long stay at Anfield could be set to end this summer. But Jarell Quansah's departure changed the picture, while the ongoing pursuit of Guéhi has not yet resulted in the capture of the England international. Indeed, comments from Palace head coach Oliver Glasner on Friday implied the 25-year-old will not be leaving before Monday's deadline. It's not possible at the moment to find a Mark Guéhi replacement who can play straight in the Premier League, said the Austrian ahead of Sunday's game against Aston Villa. However, Liverpool.com understands Palace this week made an approach for Manchester City defender Manuel Akanji, while reports have claimed Toulouse's J.D. Canvo is A target, BBC Sport, reports the Eagles have explored the prospect of bringing in Gomez on loan. Liverpool will not sanction any loan before the end of the window, while it would take an incredible offer at this stage of the market for the Premier League champions to consider a permanent exit. The Reds hold a similar stance on Harvey Elliott. Despite interest from RB Leipzig, the German club made a renewed approach to sign the ex-Fulham on Friday, but Liverpool still sees Elliott as a key member of Arne Slot's squad and, at this stage, will not budge on its high valuation of the player. Kostas Tsimikas, on the other hand, is expected to leave Liverpool before Monday's deadline. The Greek international has been granted permission to travel to Italy to complete a season-long loan move to Roma.